Inventories dropped down a little bit. I remember and here's where I want to be very careful about this year, because we remember last year we were like, hey, there's only 1,900 homes on the market this time of year. And then it went crazy. So we're starting at triple that. Inventory has come down. We are starting to see this spike of interest. We saw the same spike of interest last year at this time. I think it was way crazier at the beginning of the year last year, just because we only had 2,000 homes on the market. But do you think we're going to keep seeing this crazy? I'll start with you this time, Sarah. Do you think we're going to keep seeing this crazy frenzy of buyers out over the next, our cycle usually is until July. So do you think this amount of people are going to be out bumping the price back up all the way through July?
I think that if interest rates have a continual downtrend, I think that it will cause an increase in people looking and putting in offers and getting off the fence, and it could bump those prices up. Because I feel that after what happened last year, starting, it was around like Memorial Day last year, right, where there was a big shift. And then it took into like the end of until like November 10th of 2022, where we were saying, rates are starting to come down, but people are still on the fence. And I think a lot of people held off on their job search and took a pause. So I do think that we're going to start seeing an increase. Granted, let's forget about what happened Friday. We're starting to recover a little bit from that already. Overall, we still have a downtrend in rates. So I think if that continues, we are going to see people increasing, getting out there, putting in offers, and it's going to affect pricing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember the question there,
but I think we were talking about prices, right?
Yeah.
One of the stats I'm looking at right now is average days on market, and for the first time since 2019, there's a longer average days on market. So I think paying attention to days on market and paying attention to the amount of homes that are available in the Austin market will help give people an idea. This is specific to Aaron's question and kind of anybody, if you have to pull the trigger, right? So like to use data as a perspective, you can say, all right, well, right now we have 4 times the amount of homes available on the market. We have a small amount that are increasing in price, but most of them have decreased in price. And the time to sell is the longest it's been in 5 years. So what are we watching from that information?
Yeah. And I don't know if anybody watched my video from yesterday. I highly recommend watching it and actually sharing it, because I broke down the numbers and if there's specific zip codes people are looking for, I'm only telling my friends on this because I have a lot of people reach out to me and they just want free information all the time. I run a business. I just can't give people free information, but it takes away from my clients. But in the comments, if you want, I can share a link to some of the data points I pulled. But I just wanted to show, and I really wish I would have said in this video yesterday, this is how easy it is to manipulate data. This is why ReVenture gets away with it. Because I went to the peak of the market and said, look, here was the peak of the market. Here's where we're at now. Instead of going year over year, that's a little more specific data. Now, if you look at the median, I have a problem with that ABOR always puts out median instead of average, and they don't look at some things. What's really interesting to me is that if you were to look at actual resale home sales versus the combined median, they're actually completely different. So anyway, what I wanted to make a point is that we really don't know what's going to happen with this market going forward, but I hate to give people the false hope that, yes, it's going to be an amazing year. And I don't want to do that, but I had a conversation with the buyer last night. We were on a call and I said, look, I would recommend if you're an investor and you really just have time to wait, maybe wait it out to October and see where things are. If you find the right home that meets all the criteria, then hop on it now. Because the reality is we're at a 35% discount in a lot of zip codes right now, based on the information I pulled from that video, right? We are at a 34 on a lot of zip codes. We're at a 34% drop. So do you think those prices are going to go down any further from 34% is the question. Aaron, I'm going to pull up I'm going to pull it up right here. You can screenshot it. So here's the information I pulled. Now, These are all the zip codes that I pulled. I have more information than this, but if you look, 78746 actually went up 66%. Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
But if you look at 78733, they dropped $322,000. Isn't that crazy? I mean, we're talking 34, 35%. Oh, I didn't give you the full list. Here we go. There you go. So 34% on the top line in some of these zip codes. So I think it's really important that we look at this data and know, hey, some zip codes have 35% discount. How much do you think it's going to go down from here? Because that kind of gives you an idea too. And I'm the only one that has that data, unless you screenshotted that like I told you to. I'm the only one that has that data out there. I'm the only one that's put it together. So anyway, what do y'all think about prices being 35% down from the peak?
I think it's super interesting because all the data that I have is national data. So everything that I'm a part of is, so I love that you have more specific data to our area, because when I look at, CoreLogic numbers, it's like, oh, from the peak, we're down 3% in price. And then CoreLogic projects that in 2023 will be up 3% in price, but that's national. So based off what you sent us, I'd be really interested in looking at those zip codes that are down and the ones that are up, and what makes the ones and what differentiates them. As far as is it schools? Is it neighborhoods? Is it, location of jobs now that more people are back to work and less people are remote? Like, I would just be really curious on what makes those more desirable. And I mean, I would love to buy an investment where it has a 35% decrease if I was looking for a deal.
What's funny is, sorry, I had to give Aaron a hard time in the comment there. So that was part of the thing I looked at when I was looking at the zip codes. Is I'm like, all right, where am I going to find a deal? And I'll give you a prime example here. In 78759, this is the one that saw the biggest decrease from 900,000 down to 593. You find me a good looking house in 78759 for that price, and I'll buy it.
That's by the domain, yeah.
It's by the domain, yeah, 78759. It's next to the domain. The other one that was like,
let's do it.
The other one was in.
Well, so hold on, pause on that for a minute.
Yeah.
So while it's by the domain, that's high growth area. It's leaving that area.
Yeah, it's how
IBM.
IBM's leaving that little area right there.
So they're working on a new hub area. It won't be done until 2027. Right. But what does that mean for that area?
Thanks for watching this short of the Real Amigos podcast. For more live streams, hit here. For more clips, hit here. We'll catch you on the next one.